The new school, or the new wave, greatest of all time would be LeBron James. And while we can throw out opinions all day, let's dive straight into the
I mean, I guess you could say that, but even some of the youngins know that MJ. What's going on, y'all? Today we got Jordan versus LeBron GOAT debate finally over. I don't know what's that? I don't know. I think it's a face. It's not close. Let's get into it.
Breaking. Well, we have some breaking news here. Like, share, subscribe. While it seems like the LeBron and Jordan debate will never end, who's the best? Who has the best true shooting percentage? Who has the most championships? Who's the tallest? Who has the best jump shot?
He said who's the
and
tallest?
so on and so on and so on.
Who said who's the tallest?
Really all opinion at the end of the day is up to who you like. So
who even talk about who's taller? Like that was bad.
The only way we can truly identify who's the best is by making a set category or a set criteria, which could also vary from person to person. And you can try to sway it or persuade the audience to come your way. Michael Jordan being many of the past year's NBA fans' favorite player and greatest of all time, the new school, or the new wave, greatest of all time would be LeBron James. And while we can throw out opinions all day, let's dive straight into the
I mean, I guess you could say that, but even some of the youngins know that MJ is the one and only as of right now.
That's
bro,
into the tail of the tape.
Bro,
check out these two players. LeBron James coming in at 6'8", 240. Michael Jordan, 6'6", 215. When we look at championship rings, Michael Jordan has 6 out of 6. LeBron James has 4 championships out of 10 tries. When we look at scoring champs, Michael Jordan is a 10-time scoring champ.
I hate the tries thing. I hate the tries. Because if you do the real tries, it was 6 out of 15 and 4 out of 20. You know what I'm saying? I hate that logic. I hate that logic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
that logic was specifically created to diminish LeBron. I hate that. You can't do that.
When you look at all defensive teams, Michael Jordan has 9. LeBron James has 5.
That's bad.
Michael Jordan also has a 1988 Defensive Player of the Year. LeBron James has never been the Defensive Player of the Year.
And he was
Michael Jordan has been swept 2 times. LeBron James has been swept 3 times. Jordan was swept in a best-of-5 series twice in the 80s. Michael Jordan is a 2-time dunk contest champion. LeBron James never attempted the dunk contest. I'm kind of disappointed LeBron James has never attempted a dunk contest, being the quote-unquote best physical specimen the game has ever seen. And the physical specimen that he is, with his size and agility, I don't know if he has the creativity to win a dunk contest, but I guess we'll never know now. When we look at points per game, Michael Jordan is 30.1 points per game for his career. LeBron James is 27.1 points a game for his career. Rebounds per game, Michael Jordan is 6.2. LeBron has 7.4 rebounds. Assists per game, 5.3 for Michael Jordan, 7.4 for LeBron James. Steals, Michael Jordan almost averaged 2.5 steals per game. LeBron James almost 1.5 at 1.6. Blocks per game, they both come in at 0.8, exactly the same. Michael Jordan is leading in points. LeBron leads in rebounds and assists. Michael Jordan wins the steal category. Comes to era competition and comparing the eras, they both played against some all-stars. Michael Jordan had Karl Malone, Dominique Wilkins, Charles Barkley, Sean Kemp, some really, really great players that I can't even name them all in the 90s, and some great defensive players. But you were able to hand check back then, which made it a lot harder to get into the lane and to score points. You could kind of guide the man wherever you want to go. And it made it a lot tougher to score. Now you can't touch a person. So when you can't touch a person, the stats for the offense are going to be way more inflated. You're going to get way more shots up. The game and the pace of the game is much faster. They're averaging way more shots. I don't know the exact number, but it's probably about, 15 to 20 more shots a game, or 10 to 20 more shots a game. They're averaging more shots per game. When it comes to competition, LeBron James, I would say, plays against the better competition on offense. But you can't hand check in this era. So the players are more skilled, but they play less defense. The average
I feel where you coming from, gang, but I feel like Mike still played against great competition, bro. I mean, Bron was in the Eastern Conference for most of his career. You know what I'm saying? Stomping on those dudes. You know what I'm saying? Getting to the finals every trip and losing to a Western Conference team that was obviously better. Not obviously better every time, though. 2011. But yeah, we're not even going to... You know what I'm saying? Y'all understand what I'm saying. Jordan played against great competition, bro. Because it makes his competition not look as good as they were because the way he dominated them. You know, and I just think you got to just hold them to that standard. Like, he dominated his era. That's why it looks like that, you know.
Player played better defense than some of the good players today.
And with the hand check thing, of course it's harder to score, but it's a little easier to play defense as well. So it's just going to be a more defensive-based game. So back to what he was saying, yep, that's why the pace is way higher nowadays. You get way more shots up.
When you compare the 90s and this era is like a lot more cupcake, and it's a lot more razzle-dazzle, and it's about the fans. I would say LeBron played against the better competition.
I mean, you can say the more skilled, but that's just because the game evolved, man. That's not. He was
still not able to defeat them at least half of the time, which you have to do if you're going to be the greatest of all time and try to claim that title as GOAT. Dominate your era. There were too many people that shared his era with him. LeBron made it to the finals 10 times, but that's sort of misleading because the Eastern Conference was very weak, and his toughest competition being the DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry Raptors, which a lot of times just bowed down to him and just gave him because they knew they couldn't beat him. They lost
LeBron,
year after year. LeBron didn't have much competition while stacking his teams stacking his bench. He always had since going to the Miami Heats with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, he's always had a stack.
Bro, contradicting himself.
He can't go into the next year with the same roster if he doesn't think he doesn't have a chance. And I think luck is part of being the greatest or being one of the GOATs. You have to be lucky also. He basically creates his own luck. Michael Jordan made it to the finals only 6 times, but he had much stiffer competition through the Eastern Conference trying to get there, especially in the 80s with the...
So why did you say Bron played more? Like, I get more skilled, but that doesn't have nothing to do with greatness. You know, you could be as skilled as you want. I ain't gonna lie, you can be as skilled as you want. I'm very skilled. You know what I'm saying? I ain't go nowhere because I ain't have the intangibles. It's about the intangible things, you know. I'm just be keeping it a buck. It's about the intangible things, the competitiveness, that drive, that pride. You know, come on, bro.
80 Celtics and Larry Bird, which is one of the best teams of all time. A couple of the biggest issues I have with LeBron James is that other players and teams dominated his era more than he did, and he never wanted to go into a season without a stacked team. Ever since he visited Miami, Pat Riley, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and all them boys. Ever since, was it 2012, 2013, I believe he made the decision. Ever since then, he has not went into a season without the deck stacked. Probably except his first year when he had Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram when he first arrived to the Lakers with Magic Johnson in his first year. He stacked the deck, and he still failed a lot.
All right, bro. He just keeps repeating the same thing. You say the whole lot of nothing, gang. We understand. He stacked the deck. You said this for like 2 minutes
That's a huge problem. Let's look at some of the players and teams that dominated in LeBron's era. First, there was Kobe Bryant, who got 2 rings on LeBron's watch. There was the Spurs, who won 4 rings on LeBron's watch. I might have to add that they won one of them in his rookie year. Kevin Durant was occasionally the best player in the world on and off in LeBron's era. You had to wonder who was the best out of Kevin Durant and LeBron from time to time. Kawhi Leonard had his run. He was the best two-way player, quote unquote, if you remember that. And of course, there's Thanos, aka Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, who had 4 rings on the Kings' watch. LeBron continues to stack teams at the top of every year and then trade some of the players out during mid-season.
Goddamn, LeBron's era sounded like 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Pick the best 8, 9, you know what I'm saying, and use those, gang. Because what you gonna use? The old Mike's 15? Like, you gotta use
tweak his roster to get into
gang.
the championship game or ultimately the finals. And I don't know a player in the NBA who's allowed to do that today, past time or present day. Michael Jordan, most important wingman, or ultimately the finals. And I don't know to get into the during mid-match. LeBron continues to stack teams at the top of every year and then trade some of the players out during mid-season every year to try to tweak his roster to get into the championship game.
He's really
or ultimately the finals. And I don't.
It sounds like he copied like word for word what this nigga Ticket be saying on Player's Choice. If you watch Player's Choice, you know who I'm talking about, and you probably hear it too. And this guy sound like Ticket. What the hell?
Like, player in the NBA who's allowed to do that today, past time or
these are all points I heard Ticket
Michael Jordan, most important wingman
on Player's Choice.
Dennis Rodman and Scottie Pippen. And I might have to
add. I hope you're not stealing my boy's points, my boy.
Listen to some of LeBron James Hall of Fame teammates.
Like, at least change it up a little bit.
Ray Allen, Anthony
give him
Davis,
the credit. Like, you gotta give him the, you know what I'm saying?
Kyrie Irving,
let people know that where you got it from.
Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook, Shaq, Kevin Love, and probably a few more that I didn't get to mention. He also had Isaiah Thomas when he was kind of doing this thing. He had just came back from injury, but he still had Isaiah Thomas on his bench, which is ridiculous. If you give Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan this talent or the ability to move around like LeBron James does, I think they end up with at least 7 or 8 rings. I'm glad Kobe Bryant didn't jump team to team. He probably would have been our hands-down GOAT right now, sitting on about 7 rings. I think LeBron James was a definitely failure after being a journeyman and still coming up short to Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and only tying Shaquille O'Neal. I think it's disrespectful to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who has 6 rings.
Yo, this guy sounds like Ticket. He sounds like Ticket.
5 rings and 9
because he's literally just rambling. Now you just rambling, talk about nothing. It's what Ticket does. Talk about nothing. But that's what we go at the door, fat y'all. You know what I'm saying? A young nigga like me know Mike to go. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But this guy just making dumb arguments. You know what I'm saying? You gotta clean it up, gang. Word. Stop stealing. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all enjoyed, last reaction, turn on post notifications, share the video, and I'm out of here. Word.